Good evening, my dear dreamer. It is I, Professor Thaddeus Dozesworth, your ever-loyal guide on these nightly wanderings. Once more we embark upon a journey, not just of place, but of peace. This evening we leave behind the lantern-lit lanes of Europe and the sun-baked sands of Egypt. Tonight we set our course for a land suspended between earth and sky, a place of legends etched in stone and clouds that whisper secrets to the mountain tops. Welcome to Peru. Now, don't trouble yourself with passports or packing lists. Your only task is to relax, to surrender the day, one sigh at a time, and allow my voice to carry you gently, like a breeze over the sacred Andes. Our voyage begins high above sea level, where the air is thinner, yes, but the dreams are richer. Here in the cradle of clouds, the very bones of the earth seem to rise up in reverence, sharp ridges, emerald terraces, and ancient ruins half swallowed by moss and mist. Peru is a land of great contrasts, a land where time does not move forward but folds, where the past and present live side by side, like neighbors sipping coca tea in the morning chill. And now the screen gently fades to black, allowing the last traces of light to slip away. Let the last flickers of light melt softly into shadow, not as an ending, but as an invitation to rest your eyes and let your listening deepen. Follow only my voice now, as one might follow the quiet trail of a lullaby through the woods of night. I remember with a fond ache the first time I stepped foot upon that sacred soil, the scent of eucalyptus and wood smoke in the air, the golden light brushing the mountains as if painted there by some divine artist, and beneath it all a hum, not quite a sound, but a feeling, the unmistakable sense that the land was alive, watching, waiting, remembering. Peru is many things. It is the roar of the Pacific crashing against cliffs that have seen centuries come and go. It is the hush of the Amazon, vast and unknowable, where sunlight filters through canopies like secrets through stained glass. It is the pulse of the highlands, quiet yet unyielding, where llamas graze beneath skies too blue to believe. But more than anything, Peru is story. It is the whisper of Incan roads beneath your feet, the echo of ancient tongues in mountain winds, the glint of gold buried not just in earth but in myth. And tonight, you and I shall wander these stories. We shall stroll through the sacred valley at twilight, where ruins glow with a kind of memory. We shall climb slowly, softly, toward the stone citadel of Machu Picchu, where clouds drift like guardians over the lost city of the sun. We shall float upon the mirror-like waters of Lake Titicaca, where legends tell of gods who birthed empires from the reeds. This is no ordinary bedtime tale. This is a sacred meander through a land both ancient and alive. And so, dear listener, I invite you now to let go of the waking world. Close your eyes, unclench your thoughts, allow your breath to slow, and listen, truly listen, for the Andes are calling. Not loudly, not urgently, but with the patience of mountains. Let your thoughts become mist. Let your body become still. And let your dreams find their footing in the footsteps of the Incas. Our journey through Peru begins now. We climb now, slowly, deliberately, not merely up stone steps or jungle trails, but up through time itself. Welcome, dear dreamer, to Machu Picchu. Hidden in the clouds of the Andes, high above the Urubamba River, lies this fabled city of stone, not carved into mountains, but seemingly whispered into them. For Machu Picchu does not announce itself. It emerges from mist, from myth, from memory. To reach it, one must journey through the sacred valley, a land cradled by rivers, hemmed by towering peaks, and dusted with ancient terraced fields that ripple like emerald stairways. Many make the pilgrimage along the Inca Trail, a 4-day footpath once tread by the children of the sun, winding through cloud forests, high passes and secret ruins long overtaken by moss and orchids. This trail is not just a hike, but a rite, a slow surrender of the modern world, step by reverent step. Others arrive by train through the canyon's embrace, past waterfalls, whispering bamboo, and lush jungle blooming like a green dream. The air grows thinner, purer. The silence begins to speak. And then, there it is, the lost city. Machu Picchu, it rises from the mountain's back like an offering. Over 200 structures of expertly fitted stone, temples, terraces, observatories, all aligned with the stars, the solstices, the sacred breath of the earth. No mortar holds them together, and yet they stand, stronger than time, gentler than thought. Historians say it was built in the 15th century, likely under the reign of the great emperor Pachacuti. But who truly built it? And why? That remains a mystery wrapped in mist. Some say it was a royal retreat, a sacred center of astronomy and ceremony, a place for the priestly elite to commune with the gods. Others whisper that it was never meant to be found, that it was a spiritual threshold, a liminal space between this world and the next. Indeed, standing there, one does not feel like a tourist, one feels like a guest. The sun greets Machu Picchu first each morning. Its golden fingers brush over the Intihuatana, the hitching post of the sun, a carved stone said to tether the heavens to the earth. They say when you place your palm above it, you can feel a faint pulse. Some say it's the earth's heartbeat. Others say it's your own, finally remembered. The Temple of the Sun, semicircular and smooth, was built with such precision that during the solstice, sunlight floods perfectly through its window to strike a sacred stone within. Coincidence? No, dear one. This was the work of those who listened to the sky. You may wander down a stepped path to the Temple of the Condor, where wings of stone stretch out, a tribute to the mighty bird said to carry prayers from earth to the heavens. And as you walk, you'll find yourself whispering, not by command, but by instinct. For here, the stones remember everything, and to speak too loudly would be to interrupt a sacred conversation. The Incas believed in 3 worlds: Hanan Pacha, the upper world, realm of the gods and stars; Ke Pacha, the living world, ours full of joy and hardship; and Uku Pacha, the inner world of spirits, ancestors, and hidden truth. And Machu Picchu, she sits at the intersection of them all. Even today, locals speak of the energy here, a vibration, a presence, a sense of being watched not with suspicion, but with gentle remembrance. You may find a llama grazing, unbothered by visitors. You may hear the distant rush of river far below. But mostly, you will hear your own breath. And in that breath, perhaps the voice of the ancients. And when the sun begins its descent and golden shadows stretch long across the ruin, this city does not vanish. It simply returns to sleep. Machu Picchu is not just a marvel of stone. It is a lullaby, a poem, a sigh from the soul of a people who saw the sacred in everything. So rest here a while, sweet traveler. Let the moss and stone hold your thoughts. Let the sky wrap you in her long-forgotten language. For in this citadel of cloud and time, sleep comes not as escape, but as communion. Ah, Machu Picchu, why does it call to so many from across the world? Like a whisper across centuries, or the dream of something half-remembered. Perched high in the Andes at nearly 8,000 feet above sea level, Machu Picchu is more than just stone and cloud. It is a mystery carved into a mountaintop. Historians have puzzled over its purpose. Was it a royal estate, a sacred sanctuary, a ceremonial center for the chosen few? But there are those, dear listener, who look deeper still. They note how the stones of Machu Picchu are cut so precisely, so seamlessly, that even a blade of grass cannot slip between them, achieved, it is believed, without mortar. They speak of alignments with the stars, the sun gates, the solstice shadows that fall just so upon carved temples. They wonder about the narrow stairways that climb like vines through the clouds, the terraces that seem more like living sculpture than agriculture. And yes, there are whispers of something otherworldly, of cosmic visitors, of knowledge that came from the skies, of the Incas' reverence for the heavens, and the strange energies said to swirl within those ancient stones. I shall not claim to know for certain, but I will say this. When one stands amid the silent majesty of Machu Picchu, with the wind brushing past like a memory, it feels quite simply and as though the earth itself is exhaling something sacred. Now let us leave the lofty heights and drift gently downward, down winding roads that curl like old ink on parchment, until we arrive in the storied city of Cusco. Ah, Cusco, the navel of the Inca world. It was once the glittering capital of a vast empire, a place where gold gleamed like morning dew upon temples and palaces. Today it remains a jewel nestled in the Andes, a place where the bones of two worlds, Incan and Spanish, lie side by side in the cobblestones. Walk with me, if you will, through Cusco's Plaza de Armas, where old cathedrals ring their bells and the scent of roasted maize floats lazily through the air. Look to the walls, those ancient, tightly fitted stones. Their angles so perfect, it feels as though they've grown from the earth itself. Cusco hums with memory. Beneath every street lies another, older. Beneath every whisper, an echo. Their people here are warm, wrapped in woven shawls of deep indigo and sun-washed crimson, their eyes bright with history. Markets burst with colors, potatoes in every hue, sacred coca leaves, hand-spun textiles, and silver trinkets that catch the sun like falling stars. The altitude slows time in Cusco. Every breath is a little deeper, every step a little more deliberate. But oh, the soul stretches wide. And now, dear listener, we travel even farther, beyond the mountains and into the green, pulsing lungs of the world. The Amazon rainforest. Let your mind follow the call of the river as it carves through the jungle, like a silver thread through emerald velvet. The Amazon in Peru is a world unto itself. Primal, ancient, endlessly alive. The canopy stretches high above, leaves glistening like stained glass in the moist heat. Sunlight dapples through in quiet mosaics. There is a soundscape here that never stills, the call of distant howler monkeys, the trill of unseen birds, the symphony of frogs and cicadas performing their nightly overture. It is said that a single hectare of rainforest contains more species than all of Europe. Every plant may hold a secret cure, every creature a forgotten fable. And deep within this green cathedral dwell tribes who speak in tongues older than empire, who tell of spirits that dance on leaves and jaguars, that guard the edges of dreams. To visit the Amazon is not merely to travel, it is to remember, to return to something our bones still understand. Here, the air smells of rain before it falls. The ground is soft and rich, like cake beneath bare feet. At night, the stars pierce the canopy in diamond pinpricks, and the world becomes a lullaby of rustling leaves and slow breaths. So rest now, dear one, and let these places swirl gently through your imagination. The high, hallowed peaks of Machu Picchu and its whispers to the stars. The cobbled heart of Cusco, where two civilizations hold hands across time, and the deep, breathing green of the Amazon, where the world begins again with every dawn. Each place holds a rhythm, a heartbeat older than memory, and tonight they lend that rhythm to you. Let your breath slow, let your thoughts soften. And so, we find ourselves once more beneath the emerald breath of the Amazon rainforest. Not merely a place on a map, but a living, breathing world within a world. You see, dear listener, Peru's portion of the Amazon is one of the most biodiverse regions on the planet. A lush cradle of life, where time meanders slowly like the great rivers that braid the forest together. It is a kingdom without kings, ruled instead by rhythm, by rainfall, by roots, by the soft pads of prowling cats, and the glisten of dew on ancient leaves. To enter this forest is to step into a dream, spun by the earth itself. Here sunlight arrives not in beams but in soft patches, flickering through the canopy like golden whispers. The trees rise in columns of quiet strength, draped with mosses and orchids, each trunk a totem of stories untold. There is a perfume in the air, wet bark, rich loam, blooming flowers and ripened fruit. The kind of scent that tells you this place has never truly been tamed. In these dense thickets, capybaras trundle past riverbanks, pink river dolphins crest the surface like liquid myths, and toucans flash their kaleidoscope beaks as they chatter in the treetops. Poison dart frogs no larger than a fingernail sing beneath leaves. Sloths hang like living commas from the branches above, teaching us all how to be still. Local guides, wise, gentle souls, speak of sacred groves of ancient spirits that dwell in tree hollows and pools. They share tea made from medicinal plants and stories told in low tones around the fire. As rain taps softly on palm thatch roofs, and as night descends, a soft chorus begins, the lullaby of the jungle. Cicadas hum, night birds call. The forest pulses like a warm and living heartbeat. There is peace here, not the silence of nothingness, but the harmony of everything. And now we float. Let your thoughts drift westward, carried like a feather on the warm breeze until the trees thin and the sky opens, and we arrive at a place wrapped in shimmering legend. Lake Titicaca, ah yes, even its name rolls like poetry from the tongue. Nestled high in the Andes, this is the highest navigable lake in the world, a sapphire set into the crown of South America, perched more than 12,000 feet above the sea. The air here is thin and clean, touched with the scent of wood smoke and wind-blown earth. The lake glows differently than any you've seen. It is not merely blue, it is ancient. It feels holy. The surface catches the sun like polished obsidian, and when the stars emerge, the lake reflects them back like a mirror held to the heavens. Legends say the first Inca, Manco Capac, was born here, rising from the waters by divine decree, that the lake was the cradle of the sun itself. And truly, when you stand upon its shores, you can believe such tales. And out upon these sacred waters, like something from a fairy tale, float the Uros Islands. Imagine, dear one, islands made entirely of reeds. The Uros people, ingenious and enduring, weave these islands by hand from the buoyant datura plant. They create homes, boats, kitchens, and schools atop floating mats that bob gently with the rhythm of the lake. When you visit, and oh, how kind they are to visitors, you are welcomed with open arms and bright smiles. The reeds crunch softly underfoot as you walk. Children laugh. Women embroider sun-bright textiles while telling stories of their ancestors. The air smells faintly of fresh water and earth-warmed straw. Time slows here, in the best of ways. You might sip herbal tea from a carved gourd and gaze across the open waters, watching the sun sink slowly behind the mountains like a golden god returning to his temple. Lake Titicaca is not loud. It does not shout for attention. It hums softly, deeply, with a presence that feels eternal. Here, history lives not in museums or monuments, but in the everyday acts of people who carry their heritage in every gesture, every smile, every braid of hair and embroidered tunic. And as you rest now, wrapped in the quiet magic of this journey, let all these places live in you, the breath of the Amazon, the stillness of the sacred lake, the woven wonder of the Uros. You are not simply a visitor in Peru. You are part of its story now. Its rivers run through your dreams. Its winds cradle your sleep. Its stars blink above you, not as distant things, but as quiet companions on this peaceful voyage through rest. Let the hush settle. Let your body grow heavy. We shall return soon with one final chapter, but for now, be still. The land of Peru is holding you gently, just as you are, always. But what is a land without its people? We have wandered through cloud-wrapped peaks and emerald forests, floated atop ancient lakes, and touched the stones of vanished empires. But now, dear listener, let us sit for a while and listen to the heartbeat of Peru, pulsing not only through places, but through the people who call them home. Peruvians are, by nature, warm and welcoming, generous with their smiles, rich with hospitality. It is a country where strangers may greet you with a nod and a heartfelt "Buenos dias," and where you are often invited to sit, to share, to belong. Their culture is not something preserved in a museum. It is alive. A living mosaic of Incan roots, Spanish influence, and the proud traditions of dozens of indigenous communities, all carried forward with grace and joy. In the highlands, you'll find women in bright, hand-woven skirts and hats adorned with fresh flowers. Their fingers are skilled, weaving stories into cloth, grinding corn with ancient stones, blessing food with quiet prayers. In the towns, time flows gently, and laughter often spills from the markets, where color and music swirl like confetti in the air. And oh, the customs. In the Andes, every celebration seems stitched to the sky. Festivals where dancers in feathered masks spin to the beat of ancient drums, where fireworks light up mountain valleys, and children wear miniature versions of traditional dress. You might witness the Inti Raymi, the festival of the sun, where Cusco is transformed into a stage for ancient Incan rituals. Or find yourself in a quiet village where locals honor Pachamama, Mother Earth, with offerings of coca leaves and whispered thanks. Every act, even the smallest, holds meaning. It is not just custom, it is reverence. A way of saying, we are here, and we remember where we come from. And then, dear one, there is the food. Peruvian cuisine, a feast for the senses. You might think it begins with ceviche, the iconic dish of lime-soaked fish, fresh and fragrant, kissed with red onion and coriander. But that is merely the first page of a long and flavorful story. In Lima, the capital, you'll find world-class restaurants where ancient ingredients meet modern flair, where quinoa and alpaca, purple corn and lucuma are elevated into edible poetry. In the mountains, you may be offered a steaming bowl of chupe de quinoa, a hearty Andean soup rich with grains, cheese, and local herbs. Or perhaps pachamanca, meat and vegetables slow-cooked beneath hot stones in the earth itself, as the Incas once did. And oh, chicha morada, a sweet drink of spiced purple corn. Or mate de coca, warm and herbal, sipped slowly to soothe the breath in the high mountain air. Food in Peru is not merely nourishment. It is story, it is ceremony, it is celebration, and everywhere you go, the table is set with generosity. Now, as for the weather, it is as varied and wondrous as the land itself. In the highlands, places like Cusco and the Sacred Valley, the days are kissed with sun, and the nights curl around you with a cool embrace. The air is thin and pure, the kind that fills your lungs with a quiet kind of clarity. In the jungle, warmth is ever present, moist and lush, like a soft blanket pulled from the sun itself. Showers come and go with little warning, washing the forest clean and filling the air with the scent of green. On the coast, the desert meets the sea. Lima hums beneath a canopy of soft mist in the Garua, a sky that never quite rains but rarely clears. It lends the city a dreamlike stillness, perfect for wandering or simply sitting and watching the waves roll in with their gentle rhythm. You see, Peru is a land of contrast, of high and low, wet and dry, ancient and new. And its people. Oh, its people are the golden thread that stitches all of this together. They are the storytellers, the stewards, the dreamers who walk between worlds. They will teach you how to chew coca leaves for altitude, how to find the right stone to skip across Lake Titicaca how to greet a stranger like a friend. And as you journey here in stillness, through sound, through story, know that you are not merely learning about Peru. You are feeling it. You are walking barefoot along the paths of its culture, tasting its sweetness, breathing its rhythm, and resting within its soul. And now, dear traveler, dear dreamer, close your eyes, feel the gentle warmth of the jungle, hear the laughter rising from an Andean kitchen, smell the corn roasting over coals, the whisper of wind across ancient stone. You're far from home, and yet somehow closer to your own spirit than ever before. Let it all melt into one long, gentle exhale. The land is with you, and the hush is near. We come to the end of our dreaming path. The hush has deepened. The stars have settled into their velvet thrones overhead, and the ancient lands of Peru, wild and wise and wondrous, have wrapped themselves around us like a soft alpaca shawl at dusk. You have wandered far tonight, from mist-draped mountains to moonlit lakes, from sacred stones that whisper the memories of empires, to lush jungles that breathe in rhythm with the earth itself. You've walked the narrow streets of Cusco, traced your fingers along the sun-warmed walls of Machu Picchu, listened to birdsong above the Amazon canopy, and dipped your spirit into the blue depths of Lake Titicaca. And now you rest. You see, every journey, even one of the soul, must find its stillness. Even the condor, magnificent in flight, returns to the cliffs. Even the rivers, tireless and tumbling, curl into pools of peace. Even the fire of the highland sun must give way to the silvery hush of night. And so must we. Let us linger here a little longer, you and I, not in the jungle, nor by the lake, nor beneath the ruin, but in the space beyond them, in the dreamscape where memory becomes mist and all things soften into silence. Feel, if you will, the air becoming gentler around you, not cooler, not warmer, but quieter, like the breath of a mountain, like the final note of a flute hanging in the dusk, like a lullaby sung not aloud but deep within the bones. The body knows how to listen. The heart knows how to still. And now, my dear companion, your thoughts, once fluttering like bright, curious birds, grow slow and heavy and sweet. Let them drift like petals on a silent stream. Let them tumble softly into the rivers of forgetfulness, where time dissolves like sugar in tea, and only comfort remains, warm, velvety, eternal. You're not alone. You're enfolded by the breath of the Andes, the whispering green songs of the jungle, and the steady, ancient heartbeat of the land. You're part of the great hush now, the sacred silence that has cradled generations beneath stars and moonlight. A hush that speaks not in words, but in rest, in dreams, in stillness. And I, Professor Thaddeus Dozesworth, your gentle guide, your whispering friend, your twilight companion, shall keep watch a while longer. Here at the edge of waking and sleep, I linger quietly as you slip across this velvet threshold into night's embrace. There are more lands yet to wander, more forgotten tales to uncover, more stillness to sip like warm spiced tea in the hush of twilight, more magic to be found between the folds of shadow and slumber. But that, my dear one, is for another evening. To my beloved listeners across this wide and wondrous map, To those resting tonight in the quiet corners of the American heartland, in the sun-kissed Southwest and the misty hills of New England, in the glowing cities that never sleep, and the gentle porches of the South, this story is for you. And to my dear friends nestled in the peaceful villages of Europe, where cobblestones remember the hush of centuries, and to those near the starlit coasts and soulful savannas of Africa, where the night hums with ancestral dreams, may this journey wrap you in peace wherever you lay your head. Know that this tale was woven with you in mind. Your dreams matter here, your rest is cherished, and wherever in the world you may be, you are part of this hush. So now, let the hush carry you. Let the softness settle gently over your thoughts like a silken shawl. Let the quiet do its quiet work. The journey is done for tonight. The rest is yours. Sleep well, dear one. Sleep deep and dream.